Greetings everyone, this is Babisha.
This is waqas.
This is kesini.
Today we are going to discuss Chapter 10, Video 2 on declining balance.
The declining balance, an amortization method that applies a constant rate to the declining net book value of the asset. It produces decreasing annual amortization over the useful life of the asset.
The declining balance method is basically the net book value at the beginning of the year of an asset times by straight line rate equals to annual amortization expense. If we break down the formula, you can see the net book value is basically the cost of the asset. If you purchase a truck for $25,000, that's the net book value you can use. And the straight line rate is amortization expense divided by amortization cost equal to annual amortization expense. It's basically tangible asset losing values, for example, equipments such as trucks, computer, and etc.
So here's an example, guys. A small delivery truck purchased by WKBS Florist on January 1st, 2020. So the cost of the asset would be $25,000 and expected residual value is $2,000. Estimated useful life in years is 5 years, and then estimated useful life in kilometers is 20,000.
So the annual amortization expense for this truck is net book value times by straight line equal to the rate. So it's 25,000 times by 0.2, which will give us $5,000.
Double declining balance. Method of accelerated depreciation, in which double the straight line depreciation amount is taken the first year and then the same percentage is applied to the undepreciated amount in subsequent years. So here's the formula, guys, for the double declining balance method. It's basically the net book value at the beginning of the year is gonna be same, and then you times it by a straight line rate. It's times 2, but for the double declining balance you time, so it's gonna be 40 if you, and then it will give us annual amortization expense. So if the owner wants to decrease his assets, it depends on the owner how fast he wants his assets to decrease. So if he wants, he can times it by 3 or times it by 1.5. It depends on him.
Let's see an example for the calculation. For example, we used the question before, WKB's Florist. So their first net book value of 2002 is 25,000, and then we doubled their amortization rate, which was 20%, and then we doubled it, it's 40%, and 25,000 times by 0.4, which will give us $10,000. That is accumulated amortization for the year, but as you can see, the net book value is different. It's basically 25,000 minus by amortization expense will give us $15,000 for the new net book value. And then for 2003, you take $15,000 times by 0.4, which will give us $6,000, and then that's the amortization depletion for that year. And then you add 10,000 and 6,000, which will give us accumulated amortization rate for 2003, which is $16,000. To get the net book value for 2004, you have to minus $16,000 from 25,000, which will give us $9,000. And then you will follow the same formula, and then at the end of the year, end of 5 years, the truck will lose its value for $23,000.
When rate is not given, don't panic. For example, and the truck is useful for 10 years. 100 divided by given year, that give amortization rate. For example, 100 divided by for the 10 years, 100 divided by 10 years was giving 10% amortization rate.
Declining balance method does not produce a stable amortization expense because it's not declining from the same net book value every year, but the same rate. If we go back to the example, when the truck's losing value, you can notice amortization rate. The owner is actually doubling the value rate, so it's 40% all the time in this example. It could be different for other examples. And the net book value, as you can see, it changes. So that causes the amortization expense not to be stable. You can see 10,000, 6,000, 360, and 2,000 is decreasing, but it's not stable. So when an asset is purchased during the year, the first year's declining balance amortization must be prorated.
Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed and hope we covered all this stuff.
Bye.
Bye.